A lot of golfers hear about the term handicap, but do you know exactly how a handicap is calculated? In this video, I'll go very quickly just to give you a rough idea what this all means and how it's calculated so you can have a better idea how all this works. Now, the first things first, there's the handicap index and then there's the course handicap. Now, the handicap index is basically a one decimal number. My handicap index is 12.9. When I play at a golf course with a slope rating of, let's say, 131, my course handicap then becomes 15. Let's say if I play at a different golf course with a slope rating of 138, then my handicap for that day will be higher, maybe at 16. So it really depends on the slope rating that you're playing at on the golf course. The formula for this is slope rating of the tee box that you're playing at divided by 113 times your handicap index. Now, what is the slope rating and course rating? These two numbers determine the difficulty of the golf course. You can get these both numbers on the scorecard of all the golf courses. It's on the scorecard right there. Okay, the next step is to calculate your handicap differential for the specific game. The handicap differential formula is the adjusted gross score minus the course rating times 113 divided by the slope rating. Now, you already know what the course rating and slope rating is, but do you know what the adjusted gross score is? Adjusted gross score takes into account equitable stroke control, where your maximum score per hole is dependent on your course handicap. Now, you all know what a gross score is. A gross score is when you take up all your strokes for the game and you add it up. Even though you have a 12 or 13 or 14 or 15 on one hole, you add that up as well, and that's your gross score. Now, the adjusted gross score, if you have to take away based on your handicap. If I'm playing at Sri Selangor and my handicap is 15, based on this table over here, the maximum score I can have per hole is 7. That means if you look at my scorecard here, I have an 8 here and I have 2 9s here. So that means I need to minus this 8 to become 7 and minus these 2 9s to become 7 as well. So my gross score from 96 now minus these 5 strokes, my adjusted gross score is 91. Now you might ask, why are we doing this adjusted gross score? One is because one bad hole doesn't justify a bad game and doesn't justify a bad handicap. Another reason is for sandbaggers. A lot of low handicappers want to make their handicap higher, so they keep simply hitting the ball and they get a higher score. But that doesn't work with the adjusted gross score because they can cap it only at a certain level. Now that you have your handicap differential, are we using every handicap differential of every game to calculate your scores? No. We only take the lowest 10 differentials of your last 20 games to calculate your handicap index. If you have more than 20 games, your 21st game, previous 21st game doesn't count anymore. If you have less than 20 games, you can follow this table over here. Now that I have my last 20 scores, I take the lowest 10 handicap differentials, take the average of it, and times 0.96 to get my handicap index. Now, once you get your handicap index, which is normally a number with lots of decimal points, the next step to do is to cut all the numbers up to the last decimal points. Cut. Not round up, not round down, just cut. If it's 11.99, it actually becomes 11.9. If it's 11.91, it is also still 11.9. Now there you have it. Now that you have your handicap index, you can go one full circle now and calculate your course handicap. Now, of course, if you didn't have the course handicap from the beginning or your handicap index from the beginning, you can always assume a handicap of 40 to get your adjusted gross scores. If I went too fast, rewatch the video again or read the blog post on our blog. If you like what we've seen here, give a thumbs up. See you in the next video.